The following program is made possible by support from local stations and a generous grant from the Sanger Foundation. The Sanger Foundation, bringing hope and blood to people everywhere. They're good for people, they're good for shareholders, they're good for everybody.
Welcome back to a very special episode of the Final Podcast. I'm your host, Victoria Frank, founder and president of Final International. It has been 5 years, 3 months, and 14 days since the Oklahoma incident. Since that time, you are not safe. Your family is not safe. Your property is not safe. We now know that fictional characters walk amongst us. We have been inundated with creatures bizarre and frightening. We didn't ask for our wildest fantasies to come to life, but they are here now, living among us. They were brought here by a group of jackbooted thugs who answer to no one, not you nor me. They call themselves the Fourth Wall. I call them the single greatest calamity that has ever befallen the human race. And in these broadcasts, I'll tell you why.
Previously on the Fourth Wall.
Final, yes. Fiction is not a life. They advocate for the banning of all fictional characters from the real world. You might have heard of her podcast.
What's a podcast?
It's complicated. In truth, Miss Frank and her followers do nothing more than interfere with our operations.
I think I know who's running the Fifth Wall.
Who?
That Victoria Frank lady. I think so. Oh, God help me.
What?
I have the sinking feeling I'm going to have to listen to a whole lot of her podcast to brush up on her. I'll need coffee.
Destruction is the only imperative.
Android Battalion, this is Director Watson.
We acknowledge.
The training exercise is over. Return to your recharging stages and await further instructions.
We acknowledge.
Wait. How did he solve the android test?
You want to tell them, or should I, Rookie?
I'm just trying to not make eye contact with the bird.
Now, why didn't I think of that?
The bird is staring right at me, isn't he?
You'll never be rid of me.
He walked right up to one of the androids, and I kid you not, he just popped the hood and pulled, something just right out of it, Temple of Doom style.
An alternator. It's called an alternator.
Whatever it was, the other androids took one look at that and immediately ran away.
Now, why didn't I think of that?
How did you pass it?
Oh, that was so long ago. No one wants to hear that story again.
She blew the whole thing up.
I did not.
She did make it so we couldn't use the original testing grounds anymore. That's why you had to face off with the androids in the rec center now.
And humanely isolated a murderous monster, but no one seems to want to remember that part.
How did you pass it, Hawthorne?
Oh, that was even longer ago.
That's his way of saying he never actually passed the test.
That's an exaggeration.
It's a wonder we let you work here anymore.
Wait, Hawthorne's worked here longer than the director? Why isn't he in charge?
And we come to that final lesson of your months of training, Rookie. We try not to bring that up.
Director Westing, a new episode of The Final Podcast is available on your playlist.
Now, you guys. To understand our enemy, we must subscribe to all of their online content.
Ma'am, if we wanted to keep reviewing the absolute worst things a person could say about us, I could have just kept our Twitter account open.
Let's hold off on that. If you'll put the episode up on the speakers.
Yes, ma'am.
These broadcasts, I'll tell you why. For the entirety of the time that the Fourth Wall has been known to the public at large, they have tried to compensate for their sloppiness of their previously clandestine operation by refusing to grant media interviews.
We're also, busy. Not like that matters.
Until now.
What's that now?
Reggie, did you?
No, I would never appear on something without your permission. Okay, I tried to get on Wheel of Fortune for like a year, but...
Reggie.
Right. We'll talk about my feud with Pat Sajak later.
This week, we have an exclusive interview with the first and, to date, only real person to ever both visit and work for the Fourth Wall. She has come to run the organization under what could only be called mysterious circumstances. Fourth Wall Director Abigail Westing.
What the f?
But let's go back to the event most people want to hear about. You gave the order to bring all of these things into our world. A private police force who answers to no one? Criminals we had only previously imagined? Godzilla? Along with that came a complete detachment from what we previously knew to be reality.
Yeah, huh?
But why?
I don't know. Why does a woman do anything?
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
How are they even doing this? Is this some actor doing an impression? Like Rich Little or something?
Doubtful. You ready for me to take your refuge there, laddie? Sure, Jamie.
Maybe you should check with Hawthorne. He's way smarter than me.
And what about your bird friend? Reggie, is it?
Oh, he's more of a mascot than anything else.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Guys, for the last time, I'm not actually saying any of this. This is all fake. No, I'm not going to say that. This is something pretending to be the news.
Do you really want to know why I revealed the Fourth Wall and all those fictional characters to the real world?
Yes, absolutely. People all over the world want to know the answer to that question above all others.
Well, I had too many martinis, if you know what I mean. Wait, what am I saying? I've usually had a little bit more to drink than I probably should. Not exactly sure why that would explain anything.
Well, that's going to be picked up by an actual newspaper, which means I can definitely look forward to a call from my mother asking if I need rehab. I'm pretty sure I don't.
How is your mother?
Your continued interest in her really bums me out.
What? She has very avian features. How's your father?
Well, you heard it here first, listeners. Chronic thoughtlessness, frequent drinking, and pet birds. That's all it took to release our fantasies from the pages of books where they previously had been safely contained. It begs the question, what now stands between us and further disaster? I hope to answer that over the rest of this 6-part exclusive interview with the leader of the Fourth Wall, Abigail Westing. This is Victoria Frank, your host for the Final Podcast. Be sure to visit Sanger.com and use the promo code FINAL at checkout for 30 days of free transfusions.
What do you want to bet that promo code is as fake as the rest of the show?
Okay, but I've got a really important question.
Go ahead, Rookie.
What in the hell is a podcast?
Aha! I think I figured it out. 2 years ago, the online magazine, The Truth, So Help Us God, published an article entitled The Den of Iniquity, Abigail Westing, The Fourth Wall, and Our Decaying Values.
Jeez, sounds like it was ghost written by the Pilgrim.
Another great reason we don't let her have pens anymore. But, Hawthorne, what does this have to do with us? I could wallpaper the entire building with articles calling us every bad name you can imagine. It's all bull-
That's just it. Computer.
Working.
Run a fictional entity cross-search for the article on the main display.
Error. Material indicated is a non-fiction opinion editorial.
Run a hypothetical cross-search given the material.
Working. Search confirmed. Extra factual parameters of material indicated are sufficient to create fictional entities.
You see? It may not be this particular rag or this exact lie, but with all the hateful idiocy that's been written about the Fourth Wall, we were bound to see something like this. The difference between fiction and outright lies is, well, now that I think about it, there really isn't much of a difference. I'm pretty sure that whoever Miss Frank is talking to, she's a fictional character.
That looks and sounds exactly like Abby. Oh, man.
Well, I don't think she sounds exactly like me, but whatever.
I've got a question.
Look, it's like the radio, except it's all housed in computers. Does that help?
Not really. But what I was going to ask is, why are these lie goblins
As good a name as any. Go on.
only coming across our radar now?
By our best estimates, we're only aware of about 10% of all fictional entities at any given time. Between every dirty limerick and the deepest depths of fanfiction, it's hard to keep track of everything, including the Fifth Wall. I'm still convinced Victoria Frank and this imposter have something to do with the fifth wall, and they may very well be behind the whole thing. How do we put a stop to her?
My first suggestion would be to do whatever it is people do when damned lies are spread about them on the internet.
Play more? Play more? Play more? I don't know about anybody else, but I could really go for a flame war.
Nothing's ever been solved on the internet, and I don't think that's going to change now. Besides, I already nixed the idea of reopening the Twitter account. If we find her, we may be able to find the fifth wall. Where does she record her show?
No one knows. Or if they do, they're not saying so publicly. It may be time for an old-fashioned shakedown.
Alright, but do it very, very carefully, understand?
Oh, of course. You got nothing to worry about. Reggie, Rookie, you're with me.
Who's worried?
And welcome back to another episode of The Long But Not the Short of It, the only podcast devoted exclusively to the storied feature film career of America's finest actress, Shelley Long.
Well. Who do we have here?
Excuse me, sir, we're recording here?
Are we allowed to do this?
Is anyone ever really allowed to do anything?
Can anyone ever give me a straight answer to a question?
It would appear not.
Of course we're allowed to do this. We're a law enforcement agency. Sort of. Where does Victoria Frank record her show?
I'm not telling you anything.
Don't test my patience. You don't cooperate with me here now, then we're gonna have to take you downtown, and you will talk there, believe you me.
Okay, we're definitely not allowed to do that.
Hush.
I'm not going to tell you anything because I don't know anything. Podcasters don't all hang out together.
Well, you've called our bluff. We'll be showing ourselves out. Big fan of the show, by the way. Okay, gentlemen, what do we talk about?
We're a united front. Show no weakness.
And welcome back to The Joy of Typewriters. This week, the second part of our celebration of the Smith Corona Skywriter, or as I like to call it, the iPad of the 1940s.
All right, Maggot. You're gonna tell us what we want to know, or there's gonna be real bad comments headed straight for your iTunes page.
I'm crazy, and I don't understand any of this, and it's starting to make me real mad, buddy.
I will peck you. Do not test me.
Take my IBM's electric! Take my Scholes and Glidden! Take my Hanson riding bow! Just please don't hurt me!
Mr. Hawthorne, I think we may have overshot the mark.
Yeah. Where would you go to find where a secretive podcaster records her show?
What?
Where would you go to find a podcaster?
Go to their garage! Everybody records at their garage!
That's not a bad idea. Sorry about this. We'll be going.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay. The garage thing was a bust, but I'm prepared to make one more go at this. Now, what did we talk about?
There's a middle ground to everything.
That's right.
Evil has no hope when faced with the unrelenting power of...
The fourth wall! We'd like to ask you a few questions. Wait, what kind of podcast is this anyway?
It's a full cast audio drama.
Oof. That's just too sad for words.
What happened to you to make you this way? Who hurt you?
I kind of like radio shows.
So help me, Rookie. I'm so sorry that we've interrupted whatever the hell this is. Please continue, I guess.
And what did we learn?
If I may, the market may be flooded with too many podcasts.
Anything we can use?
I may be joining the panel on the long but not the short of it.
Alright, let's see if we can...
Wait a minute.
Oh god. The last time he said that, he insisted the shark from Jaws was the second gunman on the grassy knoll.
One more word and I will open up that PowerPoint again. What I was going to say is that we just need to fight fire with fire. You know, they pull a knife, you pull a gun, they send one of your men to the hospital, you put one of theirs in the morgue. That's the Chicago way.
Besides your admittedly improving impression of our head janitor, what are you getting at?
This Victoria Frank lady has been laying us low with this podcast of hers. We can make our own. That would even the score.
A fourth wall podcast?
That has to be the dumbest idea you've ever had, Reggie. And that includes when you declared Lee Harvey Oswald was a cover for... Wait, how much time have we spent listening to his theories about the Kennedy assassination?
Wait, somebody killed Kennedy?
Oh, you sweet summer child.
Huh, I think I've got a very strange idea.
Great. And the last time she said that, Godzilla ate Oklahoma.
Back when I was teaching at the university, I had a friend in the political science department. They always said that if you want to gain control of a story that could be damaging, you just release the information yourself, deal with it on your own terms. Actually, he may have gotten that from a West Wing DVD. No way to tell. Political science was kind of a dumb major.
Yeah, because it was all the comparative lit kids who had to take the really hard math classes.
So what's the actual idea?
You heard the bird. Gang, let's put on a podcast. Are we almost ready?
I think so.
Hello, and welcome to Final. I'm Victoria Frank. Today, we continue our in-depth investigation of the Fourth Wall and their leadership. So we pick up with our interview of the Fourth Wall director, Abigail Westing. Ms. Westing, I'm told that you have an announcement for the people of the real world.
And cut. That was your cue, boss.
She sounds like Max Headroom after a head injury.
I'm doing the best with what I have, pal. If somebody would spring for Adobe Premiere, we might be in a better situation. But no, I've got to make do with GarageBand.
Never mind. Let's just get it done. Once more, please, Reggie.
I'm told that you have an announcement for the people of the real world.
Yes. I mean, yeah-huh?
Go ahead.
All that stuff you've been talking about, Godzilla, the Vampire Brides, all of it.
Yes.
Womp womp, my bad.
You're bad.
Totally. And the only reason any of it happened is that this job is super hard and I...
Don't worry, I can cut around it.
Well, now I'm not worried. And I'm just really bad at it. And to paying attention to detail. I don't know what Watson was thinking picking me to replace him. He should have picked somebody like Hawthorne.
Reggie, we've had a lot of disagreements in the past, but I want you to know that I think you have a real future writing these things.
Shh. So... At noon tomorrow, I'm going to turn myself into the authorities of the real world so that I can answer for my crimes. Or whatever.
Now, when many believe you've been a fugitive from justice for so long.
Well, nothing increases Twitter followers like an indictment. Haha.
A little more ditzy on the laugh.
Reggie, I'm not...
Do you want people to believe this or not?
Fine. Haha.
And we're out.
Thank God. This better work.
Wasn't this your idea?
Sure, but it's Reggie's script.
When is one of our plans not completely worked out? I immediately withdraw the question.
Like I said, who's worried? Let's get this over with.
So, at noon tomorrow, I'm going to turn myself into the authorities of the real world so that I can answer for my crimes. Or whatever.
Feels like a trap.
Of course, it's a trap. A trap meant for us, but like most people looking for the Ark of the Covenant, she's looking in the wrong place.
If the director manages to neutralize Miss Frank...
The Fourth Wall will quickly realize their error. They're usually pretty quick in realizing such things.
And that will bring her that much closer to us.
Agreed. Gather a group to take the vehicle once it is out in the open and prepare the asset for transport.
Everything you worked for will finally come to pass, sir.
Yes. Listen, will you go take your number one henchman routine somewhere else for a minute? It's giving me a headache.
I don't know what Watson was thinking picking me to replace him. He should have picked somebody like Hawthorne.
Well, at least we all agree now.
This is Victoria Frank, live streaming from the side of a police station in the town of New Wold Newton. Here today, if she is to be believed, Abigail Westing, leader of the Fourth Wall, has announced her intention to turn herself into the police for what she has now come to accept are her crimes. No one was more surprised by this revelation than myself, who, as you might remember, broke this exclusive story here on the Final Podcast. It appears Westing will be arriving momentarily, her fourth wall transport being flanked by a police escort. Let me see if I can get through this crowd. Make way! Make way, you people! I'm a podcaster! Podcaster coming through! Abigail Westing! Abigail Westing! Do you have anything to say to my listeners?
Oh yeah, you're the lady from that silly internet radio show thing.
It's called a podcast, and it's serious business.
Oh, why did you turn off the microphone? I, for one, love hearing myself talk.
What do you think you're doing here?
Well, I am Abigail Westing. Were you expecting someone else?
Sorry, listeners, just some technical difficulties there. Miss Westing, some people are saying...
What do you mean, some people?
The public. People who have a platform. Alright, if you ask me, this sudden willingness to accept the consequences of your actions is a farce designed to obscure some other fourth wall activity that the public hasn't been made aware of yet.
Now, what would make you say that? I mean, what's a farce?
Time to stop playing dumb, Ms. Westing.
I'm a big fan of your show, and if there's one thing I've learned from it, it's that being this dumb is the only thing I'm really good at.
Dropping off or picking up?
Definitely dropping off. And I'll only give my statement to the world's greatest podcaster, Miss Victoria Frank.
Will someone please tell me why the hell I've got an angry mob outside my precinct? And more importantly, what I'm doing in here with the two of you?
I've come to turn myself in.
For what?
Call me dumb if you like, but I've just been spending a lot of time on the internet lately, and I've come to the conclusion that I'm a terrible person.
People saying mean things about you on the internet doesn't mean you're guilty of a crime.
Are you trying to tell me that a podcast doesn't have the same weight as a court of law? I didn't know that. Did you know that, Victoria?
Now that Hawthorne fella, he interfered with the police action at the blood bank a few months ago, and I keep getting reports of him assaulting people in their garages.
He's fictional. You can't prosecute.
Doesn't matter. You were aiding and abetting him.
I think if you asked Hawthorne about the time we've known each other, the words aiding and abetting would never come up.
Lady, this is an interrogation room. How did you get in here?
Stop right there. This woman is an imposition. We've already established that, thanks. I mean, an imposter. Wait, is that right?
You had one job, you idiot.
Aha! So you are behind this fictional copy of me, aren't you? I'm not an idiot or a fictional copy. I'm a social media influencer.
So I knew she wasn't you, Westing. What's your point?
Identity theft, for one.
She's the one who stole your identity, not me. And like you said, she's fictional and can't be prosecuted.
Is there any reason for me to be here for this conversation?
Sit down.
For years now, you have been a thorn in my side, but it's become abundantly clear lately that you've been so much more...
What the hell is that?
Now who's playing dumb? Hawthorne, give me a situation report out there.
We just got hit by 3 of those buzzing, flying things from the 5th wall. We've got 3 more incoming in the next minute. They're going to be launching from somewhere close. I also think those zombie things from the vampire heist weren't just a one-off.
What makes you say that?
My keen deductive mind, trained by none other than John Watson. I also see about 100 of them coming down the street headed straight for us.
Why are you launching an attack on the real world now?
What?
Fine, we'll sort that out later. Hawthorne, I'm coming out. You 3 stay there.
You can't do that. You're under arrest. Isn't she under arrest?
Honestly, I haven't been listening.
Me neither. Hawthorne, sidearm.
Incoming. They give you parole?
Time off for good behavior. Actually, I think your record as the only person to ever arrest me remains unchallenged.
Well, at least there's that.
Is this really an appropriate first mission? Right out of training?
Remind me to tell you about my first mission one day. You're not afraid of cannibals, are you?
Look!
This won't hurt a bit.
No! Stay back!
Hi, my name's Abigail. Why would she listen to me now?
This won't hurt a bit.
Well, it might hurt a little bit.
What the hell are these things?
The 5th wall. You really don't know anything about them, do you?
No, I don't normally socialize with zombies.
Well, they're brilliant conversationalists. I think you're missing out.
You You saved me.
That's our job, Miss Frank.
And it always will be. Here's your gun back, Hawthorne.
Thank you.
We make mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes.
But...
And if that's not enough for you, then I can accept that. Be angry with me. Hate us. Curse our name at every turn. That's just fine. That doesn't mean the fourth wall won't try to protect you. It doesn't mean each one of us wouldn't die to make sure the peace is kept between fiction and reality. Wow, that was a really nifty little speech. Thanks. But, honey, you'd be so much prettier if you smiled more. Hawthorne, give me back your gun.
Yeah, but we, just got the public back on our side.
Fine. Now, Miss Frank, from this moment, you can help us in that regard, or you can keep standing in our way.
You don't understand.
I'd like to try.
Really?
Hush. I've assumed too much up until this point, and all it's done is make all of us miserable for far too long.
My family's last name wasn't always Frank. My great-great-great to the 10th grandfather came here and set up his fortune. After a few years, he had to change his name.
What was the name?
Frankenstein.
You're fictional.
I'm 256 fictional. It's been a deep, dark family secret. The moment you revealed the fourth wall to all of us, I had to put a stop to you.
You could have come to us. We could have offered you protection. We've kept bigger secrets than this. Granted, we've also let slip bigger secrets than that, but we could have worked together.
Maybe we will. At the very least, I'll stop working against you. Try to stop, anyway.
Well, that's something. Wait, you're my ride!
Well, if the camera phone's running during your little tete-a-tete are any indication, the fourth wall may get to enjoy some positive publicity for once.
Please don't tell me that the only lesson from this little adventure is the value of online branding.
I mean, I'm afraid it might be. And with this particular crisis out of the way, I think it's time for me.
Hawthorne.
We recruited the new guy. He's working out fine.
But we're nowhere closer to figuring out the fifth wall. After that is done, and assuming Johnny is still working out.
Somebody help me!
Speaking of the new guy... What is it?
This thing. She's Shirley.
Shirley? You're Shirley?
Who the hell is Shirley?
Shirley, the car hop detective. Not now. Are you sure it's her?
Positive. Why is she here? She died in that explosion. I was there.
No body, no guaranteed death. In fact, the only people who are guaranteed to stay dead are Ben Parker and John Watson.
Reggie.
Gosh, every word of that was too soon, wasn't it?
What does this mean?
It means that the Fifth Wall's soldiers aren't just zombies. They're zombified characters from the fictional worlds they've raided.
No. A thrall like that? Across realities? It would take more magic than Dracula ever had at his disposal.
Unless...
the runestone.
The Fifth Wall has the runestone.
That'd be bad, right?
Hasn't been great so far, no.
Okay. We're not doing one more damn thing until somebody explains to me just what is going on around here.
Johnny, we will get to the bottom of this, and we will make them pay. You have my word. But for right now, I need you to keep your head on straight. We have a lot of work to do. Can you do that for me?
Okay.
Now what?
One of the zombies hijacked our ride.
If they get that thing back to their bosses...
Not going to happen. Fourth wall business. I need to commandeer your vehicle.
I'm going with you. You heard the lady. Get out of the car now.
Sure thing, Mr. Bird. Before you go, can I get a selfie?
Not now. Hawthorne, get this army of theirs back to the wall and keep them there until I get back.
There's too many of them to put in the prison wing.
Jam them in the commercial wing for all I care.
But what about all the people that are already in the commercial wing? Never mind. I'll take care of it myself. And here I am, once more, talking to myself. You okay, rookie?
Are you okay?
I have your prize. I'm coming to you now.
Your master is pleased. We await you at the corner of Moore and O'Neill.
And then you were all like Wonder Woman jumping into the middle of the battle. And then you were all Jed Bartlett with the "we gotta be better to each other." And then you were all Captain Janeway with the "I promise you we'll figure this out." And then to top it all off, you went all RoboCop with the whole "I need to commandeer your vehicle, please, no flash photography."
Reggie.
What? I'm your best friend. And I think I have a right to tell you that you've never been that cool before.
Thanks. But for the moment, I'm just trying not to crash this car.
That would be so cool if you crashed this car right now.
Reggie.
Squawk.
Westing to 4th wall.
Agent 1 here.
I need you to cut the engine on the mobile command unit.
I don't have its transponder on my scopes. It may have been damaged in whatever firefight you got into down there.
Ugh, thanks anyway. Well, Reggie, looks like you might get your wish. I'm gonna have to run that thing off the road.
Wait. They just stopped on their own. Did the wall get the transponder back?
I don't think so. This may be the drop-off point. Whoever's running the 5th wall is here.
Wait.
Wait, what? They're gonna get away. Again.
You neutralized Victoria Frank.
Yeah?
And you're going to get to the bottom of the 5th wall.
Yeah?
And you looked like a big damned hero in the process. And got the public on our side.
Yes. It's a big day for me. What about it?
Nothing. I just wanted you to drink it all in for a sec.
Oh, Bird. Whatever would I do without you? 4th wall agents, let me see your hands.
Oh, it's you.
Yeah, it's me. Now, like I said, hands where I can see them. And don't even think about getting in that vehicle.
I think you would really prefer to speak to the, master?
Abby, I don't like where all this master talk is heading.
Oh, master.
Will you stop dawdling and get in? Oh, hello. I'm sorry I have to go, but I promise we'll catch up soon. Until then, Mina.
Dad?